broadcast meteorologist Christopher Collar.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're now tuned into Chat City with P. Ross. Conversations and interviews are in the queue. Listen or join in. Here she is, P. Ross.
Greetings, everyone. You're tuned in to Chat City with P. Ross, and I have in the studio with me today Mr. Barry Collins and Mr. George Green. Our topic today is addiction, but before we go to that, I want you to help me to welcome them here to the show today. Welcome, gentlemen.
How you doing, Miss P. Ross?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Just fine.
Good. All right. So again, we said our topic today is addiction, but we're going to talk about some other things. It is the month of June, and June carry a lot of things here, such as the first day of summer. Yesterday, June 21st, made it the first day of summer. Are you guys ready for summer?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Plenty of golf.
Plenty of golf. So it's
Definitely.
golf season, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. That is a sport I have not learned. Always wanted to learn it. Thought I would. And you would think everybody would, being that, you know, you live in the Pinehurst area, you know?
You would love it. You really would.
How about you, George?
I think it should be against the law if you don't play.
Oh, okay. All right, let me see. Finger snap on that one. That's what that was. All right. Okay, so now, also in the month of June, we had Father's Day last weekend. I lost my father this year, so I wasn't able to say Happy Father's Day to him. It was different, I would just say.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but I did something in his honor. I did go to the last spot I was able to take him for Father's Day, and that was Kickback Jacks.
Great.
That was something he wanted to try last year. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to do any grave visitations as a lot of people do. I just thought I'd go to Kickback Jacks and sit down and think about Dad.
Yeah.
Are you any of you guys fathers?
Yes, ma'am. I got 3 boys.
3 boys. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
This is my son, George.
George.
I also have another son and a daughter.
Uh-huh.
And God bless me with one more that we have lost. And so we still honor her as well.
Okay. All right. And last week I wasn't here. Our co-host Tamika Douglas, she was here in my place, and she invited a guest, and their subject was Daddy's Girls. They did a great story on that. You can go back and watch that on Oak 93.5 Facebook page. So they talked a little bit about that. Also in the month of June, we have Alzheimer's Awareness Month. We talked about that earlier in the show as well, earlier in the month. And, just pay attention and add special care to those who may suffer from Alzheimer's. We learned that you can get it, it can start at an early age. It doesn't have to be an old people's disease, as they say. So we learned that, it can start at age 30. You can have onset at age 30. So.
Well, I work at a facility, and I get a chance to see quite enough of that right there. People's, like you said, early age, it's coming up now. I mean, I wish they could find a cure, but I think the only cure that really could help them is people take more responsibility of seeing their family members and be with them. It takes a lot of time. You got to have time and patience with people like that.
You're right.
I give thanks to anybody that work at a facility, especially like the one I work at. I ain't gonna call no name, but it's a real powerful place to work at.
And that's interesting that you mentioned that. We're not going to talk about it right now, but when we met last year, our official meeting, Mr. Collins.
Yes, ma'am.
I was kind of doing some work then at that particular time, with a patient or, a client, I should say, and that's how we met. And, you were kind enough to just kind of step in for me for just a hot moment. Yeah. Okay. So, moving right along, there's some other things going on in the month of June, and there's just something I just kind of want to clear the air or kind of stand in defense of a group of people right now. And I don't want to touch I don't like to talk much about this because it's such a controversial subject, and I choose not to do it at this moment, at this time. But I do want to say that one of the subjects I have put for today is love and hate. Love and hate. What is love and what is hate, right? So in the month of June, we know it's LBGT month. I would just say that, And I want to just stand up for the straight community right now, and just kind of hear me out before I get any phone calls or boos or anything like that, okay? And what I mean by that is I would like to ask the LBGT community to quit saying that straight people hate you. We don't. We do not hate you. Love. What is love? Let's talk about love, because a lot of times they like to point out that love wins. Love wins. Okay? So, yeah, it does in a lot of ways. But in this particular situation, I just want to say no one really hates you. No one hates you. That's just my thought process. When we look at love, love has many definitions. We can look at love as an intense, deep affection for another person. It's an emotion that keeps people bonded and committed to one another. Love involves sex sometimes, a lot of times, I'll put it like that. Love can also change over time. And love, it's just a human emotion. It's a human emotion. And then when we look at hate, it's an intense or passionate dislike for someone. And then we can also look at hate as intense hostility, and it's usually deriving from fear, anger, or a sense of injury. Am I hitting it so far, gentlemen?
Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
My thoughts on love is I feel like love could be a various of things, different things. It can be tough, and it can come in different forms. And I feel like the best love that I can give someone is to let them be exactly and do exactly who they are. Not that, even if I don't agree, that's the best love that I can give to someone.
Right. Right. Okay. So, and then when we look at hate again, it's an extreme dislike or disgust, right? So when we look at all of that combined, the LBG community, I believe, feels like everybody hates them as people. I think it's the lifestyle that we're looking at, and everybody, to each his own what they choose when it comes to a lifestyle. And, again, like I said, I don't want to harp too much on it, but I would just appreciate if we wouldn't look at it in the light that it's being looked at. I mean, as far as myself, I look at it like this sometimes. I don't have to like ice cream. I don't have to like chocolate ice cream. I don't have to like jazz music if you like it. I don't have to like hiking in the mountains. I don't have to like, let's say, bulldogs, but I like dogs. It doesn't mean, that I have to like what you like. So don't look at it as, anybody hates you. It's just the lifestyle that you choose that tends to draw a dislike. Am I making myself clear?
Yes.
I mean, if I'm not, just, it's okay to disagree with me.
I like to say something on the topic.
Okay.
I think we all have this challenge in our families. Yeah, we love people. People take love and making love two different ways. As me today, I know that love was Jesus Christ down on the cross for me.
All right now.
Yes.
Making love, we know that's sex. But what you're talking about, living a different life, as we can read in the Bible, it says Adam and Eve. And we can say that all day. But we know that these are spirits that gets into people's and bring that upon them. I don't think nobody was born that way. I believe demons from whenever God was born was put on this earth, whatever happened, it happens. People always complaining, oh, I was born this way. Oh, I just come out the closet. No, that's a spirit.
Well, see, I didn't want to get that deep. We can bring you back for another.
Yeah.
We can yeah, we can bring you back and we talk a little bit more about that. But yeah, I totally get what you're saying. But I just wanted to, love wins. I just don't like when I hear that love wins. When I hear somebody from that community say that, I mean, because I don't not love you. I just don't like your lifestyle, or I don't approve of your lifestyle, and that's you. Just like you may feel the same way about me. You might not like my lifestyle, but it doesn't mean you have to hate me,
Right.
You know. So that's just, I want to say that for the
Right.
month of June.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Chat City with P. Ross. I am your host, P. Ross, and I am delighted to have here with me today Mr. Barry Collins and Mr. Green, George Green. And we're talking about addictions today. But before we get into addictions, we're just touching on some everyday subjects that's happening in the world today. One of the other things I wanted to talk about in light of this submarine that is missing. Do you two gentlemen know anything about that story?
I do.
You do? Have you been following it closely?
Yes, ma'am.
Can't
Okay.
help but see it. It's
Okay.
all over everything.
So it just brought me to, wow, dangerous adventures. You know, I've been hearing and reading all the responses to what's going on right now. I haven't heard anything lately about if they've been found or located. The last I've heard is they were running out of time for oxygen, for air.
Yeah, it's always a sad situation when somebody loses their life, no matter what circumstances are or what decision they made to go there or how silly some people may see it to be. It's always a sad case when somebody dies. They're still a human being. That's still someone's father, son, brother,
Right.
or something like that. You know, I see, people make jokes about it, to each his own, but it's still that's still a human being.
That's
at the end of the
right.
day.
I
You know,
agree.
that's still a life, that's still a soul,
Yeah. George, I saw a couple of jokes last night, and I'm like, did they really do this? And one is a well-known comedian, and I'm like, I can't believe she put that out there. It was hard for me not to laugh, but it was sad at the same time, I was like, I don't think, we should be making fun of this situation anyway right now.
No, because
Yeah.
if you were down there, I promise you wouldn't be feeling that way.
Right,
Somebody
right.
to rescue you.
Yeah. Dangerous adventures. I mean, dangerous adventures. Something unusual, exciting, or hazardous. Thrill seekers. They go for it sometime, man. I mean, have any one of you ever?
I mean, I like to take helicopter
anything?
rides and stuff like that. You go to the beach and fly over the beach, or go to Disney World and take the helicopter ride. I mean, I like stuff like that. I feel like some people would consider that a little extreme.
Right.
I mean, we used to ride down the road when it got dark, cut the lights out.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
extreme.
extreme.
Extreme dangerous.
Right.
That's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? I used to get on the motorcycle with somebody and scared to death, and he would just lean. I'm like, look at this man just leaning with me on this thing. I mean, that's dangerous to me.
Yeah. And for those that haven't heard the story, there was a group of people who decided to take a tourist ride, I guess you could say, in the ocean to visit the Titanic that it sunk many years ago. There was a company, Ocean Gate,
Right.
that decided to build this submarine type vessel and offer rides at $250,000 to tour where the Titanic crashed or where it sunk. And there were 5 people aboard, one a 19-year-old. And, I like you said earlier, George, the jokes on that, and people criticizing these folks about being rich.
Yeah, I got a son that's
being able
3
to
years
do-
younger than him, a 16-year-old. I can only imagine, You got to think about that guy's mother, how she's feeling right now.
Yeah. But, I was listening or watching and reading how a lot of these folks that aren't as wealthy as the passengers of this vessel get criticized. And I'm like, you know what? If you can afford it and you want to do it, that's you.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't get jealous of that.
No, can't.
I think all of them was billionaires.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
And the guy that engineered this thing. His name was Stockton. His name is Stockton Rush. He was an aerospace. He is an aerospace engineer, and he created this vessel. Invited those to go down and check it out, and that's what they chose to do.
Well, you know, they fired the first guy.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yes, they fired the first guy. Matter of fact, they said he didn't know what he was talking about, and he told them that what they was trying to do, this thing was not made for that right there.
Not to go that depth.
Right. So they fired him. So he knew what he was talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Dangerous adventures. Would any of you try anything such as let's see, skateboarding? I think that's a dangerous adventure. I don't know. I mean, that's a little risky to me.
Give me a two-wheel bicycle.
I used to ride motorcycles. You know, I feel like that's pretty dangerous. But as I got older, you know, I kind of stepped back from those things and, you know, try to be here for my boys. And my son, he rides motorcycles now, and God knows I do not want him riding those things.
How about skydiving? I mean, our military do that all the time, but I think it's kind of dangerous.
I've done indoor skydiving, but I don't know about that. I'll have to pray about that one.
How's I been on the trampoline?
Okay, how about the running of the bulls? Do you guys know anything about that? You know, where they get all those bulls in behind a crowd of people.
You
and
talking
they're just
about the
running
thing
in
that they
front
do
of
in Mexico?
Yeah,
or something like
somewhere.
that? No, I'm good on that one, too.
You good on that one, too?
I'm serious. That'd be thousands of them.
No, I'm
Yeah.
good on that.
Yeah, that's a pretty risky thing there.
But they
Risky
get
sport.
paid pretty good, I heard. They get paid pretty good. They even get the bull.
Oh, so they get paid for
So,
that?
yes.
Wow, I didn't know.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to
sport.
tell you something. When I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, I worked at the famous Midnight Diner part-time, right? And I met this guy that claimed that he was walking from California. So he had walked across America from California to Charlotte, North Carolina, and he was headed towards New York. We have a caller on the line. Let's see who this is. Thank you for calling Chat City with P. Ross. State your name and where you're calling from. Thank you for calling Chat City with P. Ross. State your name and where you're calling from. Okay, that caller hung up. But anyway, so yeah, I met that guy, and he kept a blog. He left his card to where we could follow him. He literally walked across America.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, that's a big adventure. And he talked about some of the things that he ran into along the way. There were people that actually joined him on that adventure. He got sick several times on there, but he kept pressing his way through. This guy was a teacher in California area. I don't remember his name or anything, but that was about maybe 6 years ago when I came across him.
That's
Interesting story.
That's
But-
definitely an adventure.
Yeah, and he had his family to meet him in New York to pick him up and take him back, fly with him back to California. So I thought that was an amazing adventure. A little dangerous, but amazing.
had good feet.
He had this little cart that he was dragging along with him, you know, so with his belongings in it. And he didn't seem
Stress.
well, he actually did look a little stressed. There was no smile on his face, you know, when he was sitting at the counter having a cup of coffee, you know, and, you know, like he had a lot on his mind, like, why did I choose to do this? You know, like
Did he
might
ever
have
say
had a
why
change.
he done it, or he just
I can't
decided
remember.
to walk out and walk across the country?
I don't remember. I remember the little card he left behind with his name, and it was like, follow him, you know. So I guess that was a little tidbit that he left everywhere that he stopped, you know, because I took that card and I looked it up, and he, you know, every few days he would post something to the blog, you know. But I can't remember what his reasoning was for doing
I
that.
think every day we wake up, we take an adventure.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We don't realize it or not. We think, hey, we woke up and there we go. But if we really look at it, it's a job.
Yeah.
It's a travel.
Full of
It's-
choices and
yeah.
decisions.
Okay. All right. If you've been listening to us, you're listening to Chat City with P. Ross on Oak 93.5 FM WRLY here in Raleigh, North Carolina. My guests today are Mr. Barry Collins and Mr. George Green. Our subject today is addiction, and we're going to start talking about this right now. Addiction. There are different kind of addictions out there, all kinds, and but today we're going to talk about drug addiction and beating drug addictions. Okay, I'm going to start with last year. I was at the Bobby Collins basketball camp that's held every year in Southern Pines, North Carolina. I had decided to take my client by as an activity, something to do, and I had never been to the Bobby Collins basketball camp. Thought I would stop by. Bobby Collins was here some time ago. We interviewed him and his career in basketball. He's actually in the studio today with us. And his connection to this show today is his brother is here, Barry Collins, we're going to talk to. And Barry was at the basketball camp last year, assisting Bobby, his brother, with the camp that goes on. Many kids there. They looked like they were having a wonderful time. Yes. And, man, it was a delight to see.
It was.
So Mr. Collins and Barry Collins, he and I engaged in conversation, and he began sharing his story with me. I think some kind of way I let him know what I was doing. I do radio a little bit and some other things, and then he began telling me his, I'm going to call it testimony. And I'm like, wow, we need to hear this, man. So I told him I was going to give him a call one day, and I did, and he was available to come on the show today. I want to give you some applause here for coming in.
Thank you.
You, and I told you could bring a guest. I'm sorry, my applause is a little longer than normal, but I told you could invite a guest to come with you today, and you chose your son.
That's correct.
Right,
yes,
because he has an amazing story as well.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're going to be delighted with these stories. And Mr. Collins, I'm going to ask you to tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Barry Collins. I come from a little small town called Englehart, North Carolina. My parents were Lord and Keith Collins, and both pastors. And we had a good livelihood, good childhood. One day I decided to look across the street. That was that invention you were talking about. Looked across the street, and this family was out of the ordinary. Never seen a family really drinking and drugging. So I walked across the street, and that began my life at the age of 13.
Okay. So you're a 13-year-old living in a Christian home.
True.
Parents as pastors.
True.
And the neighbors were doing something totally different than what you were used to.
True.
And you took an adventure.
True.
Okay. All right. Okay. Continue.
And that was my starting my addiction. I didn't start out smoking dope and drinking, and I was taught how to steal first. See out there, you have to learn how to do things in line. I ain't got no job. How am I gonna get drugs? So I got to steal first, and from stealing, I began to sell, and to sell, I began to use. I started using marijuana first. From marijuana to speed. From speed to acid, from acid to trying to shoot up a little bit. And later on in the years, they introduced me to freebasing. Freebasing to crack cocaine. Crack cocaine became my choice. It was something easy and much controlling. Even though it controlled me for 40-some years, it controlled me for 40-some years. Sent me to prison 9 times. But hey, I enjoyed it and I hated it at the same time. You talking about love and hate? There it go, right there.
There you go. Wow. Now let me ask you this, and I don't want you to get too much into detail. Okay. If we, when you walked across that street, did the person that introduced you to it, did they pull you around the corner and say, "Hey, I got something I want you to try," or did you see it and say, "Hey, what is that? I want to try it"?
I believe I tried it just for curiosity. It was something to do. It was part of that. If I'm gonna be in that bunch, I got to do what the bunch do.
But I want to know, like, was it an adult that had, for instance, the first time I ever saw a drug, I would say, I was young, I was 13, but it was an adult handing it to their relative who was my friend. And the option was there for me to try it, just like the relative, the uncle was showing his niece how to smoke the marijuana, right? And I was right there, and I had the option of doing it as well. It was offered to me as well, and I chose not to. So I'm wondering, was it an adult that said, hey, across this, again, I might be asking too much, but I don't want to put you.
Okay.
Okay.
It was a child. I mean,
Okay.
back in the 70s, it was much easier to get involved in certain things in the 70s than it do today. I know it's out there today and plentiful, but back in the 70s was just totally different. You was grown age of 13 to a certain extent. We were grown. My mama had 10 kids. I learned how to make money by catting, and so it was easy for me to get introduced to my way of living. But across the street, it was drinking and drugging.
Okay. All right. And then at what point in your life did you realize that, hey, I'm hooked in this thing and it's hard for me to let go?
Fell in love first because I did end up marrying the lady. I fell in love and I kept going to prison. So I'm like, well, I keep going to prison. Keep smoking the dope. I kept going to prison because I was doing the things that was sending me to prison. But the more money I spent into it, the more addicted that I got into it. The different things I started doing for the drug, I know I was addicted to the drug.
Wow. And your wife at the time, I mean, how did she feel about it? I mean, what kind of things did she go through?
When I introduced her to the drug, she had told me she had already done it.
Oh, okay.
I was the one behind.
Oh, okay.
So, hey,
all right.
I thought I was doing something new to her.
And
she told me, she said, hey, I done this before. But it was a lifestyle. I wanted to be the best of it. Because I had friends, I thought my friends, they flopped around me. We enjoy conversation. We enjoy being nasty. We enjoy being hungry. We enjoy stealing. We enjoy everything the world had to offer us. We enjoyed it. It was a group of people. Everybody had their own role they had to play.
So sin, I hear a lot of people say, especially older people who are now saved or born again and Christians or have a different lifestyle, and they are not doing what they've done before. I've heard several people say sin is fun. So would you say at that time it was fun and that's why you enjoyed it?
Oh, sure. Even though going to prison, I mean, it wasn't fun, but I think that's one reason why I don't do it today, because of prison. And I do claim that God delivered me from it. And I believe that he did, because I'm over 20 years clean.
Praise God.
So it was fun. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Getting beat up, getting ran at. I mean, it was something to look forward for every day. Like you said, adventure, that was an adventure. Getting drunk and saying, God, don't let me do it no more.
And so how old were you when you, so you started at 13.
True that.
And you stopped at what age?
What, 45?
At 45. Wow. Okay.
I'm 63 now.
63. All right. I usually give a house applauses over here, but I can't find my keys right now. So forgive me, but that certainly deserves an applause, Mr. Collins.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. So, George, now you invited your son George to be with you today.
Yes.
George, you ready to tell your backstory?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm listening.
All right. I'm George Green. I'm from a little town called Hoffman, North Carolina. And let's see here. I was introduced to, I drank a little bit whenever I was maybe 16, me and my cousins and my sisters. We drank a little bit. And then when I was, 22, 21 maybe, think I was about 21 or 20 whenever I was introduced to like a sedatives like pain pills and stuff like that. That was more along the lines of what I was addicted to. I got my hand smashed by a tractor, and it introduced me to it. It didn't grab me right away, but it just introduced me into that feeling, you know. And as life progressed or whatnot, I would drink, and then I can remember the first time leaving the guy's house when I bought my first pain pill that I bought off the street. I can remember that just like yesterday, and I was like, wow, I actually just bought some drugs from somebody. And it just took a turn. You know, I was doing pretty good. You know, I was building power lines. I'm a lineman. And it just took a turn. You know, over time it just progressed and got worse and worse. And I see myself in places that I could have never imagined. Never imagined. You know, the same people. I can remember, like my dad right here said, I can remember getting into the distribution part of it, like selling to support my habit, like selling. And other people were doing things a different way than how we're doing them. You know, like, okay, I'm not as bad as those people, you know, because they're doing that drugs a certain way and I'm doing mine this way. And I would talk to them a certain kind of way. You know, I would talk down on them, you know, because they were coming to me, buying from me, but I'm not doing it the way they are. Well, eventually I found myself in the same predicament with those same people doing it the same way they were.
Wow.
You know.
And what, how did you get there? If you thought I'm not going to be like them,
no,
how'd you get there?
It just happened. It just got to the point where one day I didn't have what it was I desired, and all I had was what they were using, you know, as far as like, you know, what they had, like what they were doing. So I figured I'd try it, you know, a certain kind of pain pill that they were cooking down and shooting up or whatnot. And it just, I tried it, and it grabbed me, it hooked me.
It hooked you. Wow. Okay, so now your father and your son, right? Were you two in the same household at the same time?
Never.
Dealing the same
Never.
thing? Okay.
I was sober when I met G.
Okay, because he's your stepson,
Yeah,
right?
he actually married my mother. Yeah,
Okay.
he was so
Shout out to my wife, Pam. Hello, Pam.
Hello,
Mama.
Pam.
Hello.
Hey, Mama.
Well, she is going to get me.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
She didn't know you were coming today?
Yes, she did. I
did.
haven't
Okay,
said,
okay.
I haven't said hey first.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, uh-oh.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
But yeah, he was sober by the time he met my mom, and that was one of the best things that could have happened whenever I met him, because I was just going into my addiction. You know, he was already through his, and I was just going into my addiction. You know, and him and I developed a really strong relationship, and he kind of knew what road I was going down, you know, but he never pressed upon me. That's a kind of love. He would talk to me about things, but he never pressured me. He kind of let me do exactly what it is I was going to do, because he realized that he couldn't stop me, you know.
Right.
I have to make my own decision.
So, Mr. Collins, did you notice that your son was headed down that road, or did he come to you and say, hey, I'm doing this?
I seen a little both.
Okay.
It was hard because I didn't want Mama to hurt. So one day he did it on his own, and I've been happy ever since. You know, because it's good to see somebody get set free from addiction. We strive every day to tell somebody that, hey, you can change, and if you stay on the right road and get around the right peoples, you got to get around the right peoples for this thing to work. You got to talk to Jesus for it to work. You know what I'm saying?
You got to be open and honest. You know, you can't be ashamed about where you've been, what you've been through. It's a part of who you are. You know, it's your makeup. You know, I draw my strength from that today, because, you know, that's who I am. You know, that's. I've been so low, you know, I know what it's like to be in those rehabs and homeless centers to where I'm at today, you know, the life that I have today, you know, and
Let me tell you,
it's great.
Let me tell you a story. My brother Bobby, he kind of taught me something out of this story. I'm gonna show you how hungry I was one day.
Okay.
I was so hungry. I mean, you get hungry out there. You see them people standing inside the curb with a sign. It's for real. It's for real. It's for real. If you got a dime, give it to them. Don't worry about what they do with it. But that day, I was walking down the street. I wish somebody could just gave me 10 cents. And I seen a Kentucky Fried Chicken box on the sidewalk. And the closer I got to that Kentucky Fried Chicken box, I started feeling good about myself.
Mm-hmm.
And somewheres, a dog came from my right,
Mm-hmm.
picked that box up. If I could see that dog today, I would ask him, what was in that box? What was in the box? I've been looking for that dog.
You've been looking for that dog ever since.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
But my brother Bobby said that I was only hungry, but the dog was starving.
Okay.
And from that day point that Bobby said that to me, I've been starving ever since.
All right. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Starving for life.
So, what steps did you take, Barry, to walk away from addiction? I know you mentioned Jesus and being close to Jesus. Did you just get down on your knees and start praying and it went away, or did you have some other help there?
I know Jesus from day one, and I know that it works. I've seen miracles and blessings, and I still turned away from it. I've been in church all my life. I was going to church. Even in my addiction, I was going to church. And my mama used to pray, hey, God, if you don't do right, send him back to prison. I'll go right back to prison.
Okay.
So I know Jesus, but this last time, they sent me to CP, and I never been to CP, and I always heard about how dangerous it was to be in CP. And I said, God, you teaching me a lesson this time.
Oh. Okay, hold on, please. Thank you for calling Chat City. You're on the air. Please state your first name and where you're calling from.
My name is Pamela Collins.
Hey, Miss Collins. How are you?
All right.
Okay. How can we help you today?
Turn your radio
I
down.
was just calling to say thank you to my husband and to
Wait,
my
Miss
son.
Collins. Miss Collins, turn your radio down in the background, please, so we can hear you clearly.
Okay, is that better?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
All right. I was just calling to say thank you to my husband and my son, and to let you know that God sent my husband to me because he knew that I was going to have to, what I was going to go through with my son. I just wanted to share that.
That's awesome.
Hey, Mama.
That is awesome.
I thank God every day for my husband.
Mrs. Collins, why have you on the air? Is there something you want to share with our listening audience other than what you just said? Mm-hmm.
It is. I want mothers to not love in the wrong way, because I loved in the wrong way. And it took me a while to accept that. I thought what I was doing for my son was the way that I was supposed to love him, because I didn't want him to suffer. But God allowed me to know after he come out of his addiction that I was loving in the wrong way, and I had to learn how to forgive myself for that.
Yes.
So
Yes,
with mothers that's going through,
Addiction.
you gotta love them enough to let them, hit rock bottom, to know that, I don't want to be this way.
Yes.
You can't hand them, you can't give them, you can love them, but you gotta have that tough love.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And can you just give our audience a couple of ways that you consider the wrong way when it comes to loving them?
Enabling, money, place to stay.
Enabling him, giving him somewhere to stay, handing him money, letting him
Definitely.
drive my vehicle.
Yeah.
Just anything that can contribute to him being able to go out and get drugs.
Mrs. Collins, while I got you on the air, what are some of the signs that you noticed, or help someone that may think that their loved one is on drugs and they're not sure? What are some of the things that you can help them with today by detecting?
I'm gonna be honest
they
with
are.
you. A mother knows. I knew, but I just continued to try to turn deaf ear because I didn't want my child to. I didn't want my child to be on drugs. But some of the signs are always coming to you with an excuse of needing some money, or he'll he would work. My son would work, and he would always come. Maybe he get paid on Friday. On Sunday, he would have to come and ask me for money. You know, and I'm not questioning him why. Instead of, you know, me questioning him why he needs money, you know, I would just give it to him. You know, and all the time my husband knew all of this. But being the man that he is, and I'm not putting him on a pedestal or anything, but I thank God for him. Being the man that he is, he would never say anything. He would just love me through all this hell that I was going through. Because I don't know if they told you that me and my husband lost my daughter through addiction. And through that, you know, my husband loved me through all of that, and still, you know, he never bashed me over my head. You know what he's doing. You know what they're doing. He would just love me. And just tell me, baby, you just got to pray. You just got to pray. Now, he would tell me, you know, you can't continue to just hand him, you know, money. But I would, you know, do it, you know, without him knowing it.
So give it anyway.
I'm appreciating this show today because I didn't know you were going to call, and I'm hearing all the love that, and I'm seeing the love here. You know, you got father and son sitting here next to each other, father and stepson. You have mother calling in on the show, and contributing to this. And we're hoping that someone is listening or watching on social media today and will be delivered,
Be set
as
free.
these two have been.
Yes.
So we hope that that's what we accomplish with this show today.
I truly hope so, and I hope a mother will see the signs and not contribute, you know, and get to where I'm at now, where I don't have my daughter, and me and my husband are raising 2 grandkids. We wouldn't have it any other way, but I would prefer her to be here to raise her kids herself.
Right.
So I want, you know, a mother to hear this and say, okay, no, I'm willing to help you go to treatment. I'm willing to help you get the help that you need, but I'm not willing to enable you another day longer, not another minute longer.
Nope. That's right.
The answer is going to be no.
That's right.
Yes. I appreciate
and I
you.
also want to say this too. If you know that someone else's kid is on drugs and they are coming to you to ask you to give them money, or they're bringing you something to buy, and you know that their kids are on drugs, don't contribute to that child's kid, because that blood is going to be on your hands.
Mrs. Collins, thank you so very much for calling in today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mom.
Send my condolences to you in the loss of your daughter. And I'm pretty sure your grandchildren will show you so much love for raising them and helping them along their way. Thank you.
And thank you. Thank you for letting me speak. And I love you, son, and I love your husband.
Thank you,
Thank
Mama.
you. We love you too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
But as I was saying, you know, my mom and daddy, they showed me different love. I went to jail. They didn't come get me out. They sent me 10 quarters, 10 for quarters. You know what I'm saying? But I look back over the day, that was love.
That was love.
Yes.
Yes.
That was love. You know what I'm saying?
In different forms.
Out of the 9 times that I've been to prison, I'm gonna tell you this other little story. Then I'm gonna let it be short. I robbed my mama twice. She put me on a brand new trailer, and I took all the furniture out of it. She refurnished that same trailer, and I took all the furniture out of it. I turned myself into the courthouse, and she told them, she said, if my son don't want anything, don't arrest him. Let him go. And that was love. That was love. But I could feel my daddy. I could feel him now. But mama showed me a whole different side of love. I'm glad she left me in there.
So what? Now talk about Dad. What did Daddy do different from Mom?
Daddy would breathe. He would breathe. His breathing and his movement was he was a big man at the time. Daddy, he could just breathe, and you could know that, hey, you better straighten up. Even though the wrong I was doing, because I thought I was grown. See, now he would go talk to Mama. And, you know, he wouldn't really say too much to me, but I could feel him, though. Yes.
And how about you, George? I mean, now, I know your stepdad was there in your life. What about your natural father?
Oh yeah, he's here. Yeah, we have a great relationship.
Uh-huh.
You know, he's a good man.
How did any how did he take you being addicted to drugs?
I don't think he was too happy with it. You know, he didn't have too much to say. You know, he just kind of showed me love the same way when I did see him, because I was kind of ripping and running, so I didn't see much of anybody during that time. You know, I was kind of in and out. But like once I finally left and went off the treatment in Charlotte and come back, like my whole view of life changed, and I realized how important it was for me to establish those relationships with my father as well as my children. You know, it's just as important for me to have that relationship with him, you know, as my biological father. And it's good, man. We talk. I was over there Father's Day, you know, falling asleep on his couch.
Okay, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to Chat City with P. Ross on Oak 93.5 FM, WRLY Raleigh. We have in the building with us today Mr. Barry Collins and Mr. George Green. They're both sharing their addiction to drug stories here with us. They are both overcomers of that dreadful disease. I'll call it a disease.
It is.
And they are sharing their stories here today on how they're being examples. And hopefully this show will help someone else who may be addicted to drugs come out through their testimonies here. Okay, tell us about, we'll start with Barry. We'll go back to Barry. While you were dealing with the addiction and trying to work, was that a problem for you? I mean, were you ever like high on the job or anything like that? Or were you fired because of your addiction?
I tried it, but my addiction led me totally unfunction. Couldn't work, so I had to steal from them.
Okay.
At one time, they told me that I was stealing whole cows out of the place because I would take all the New York strips. And
What kind of job did you have at the time?
I was waiting tables at quote. I won't name the name.
Okay.
I was waiting tables, and it was just bad. It was bad. I couldn't work because I needed money right after I got through working. I would go to work high if I go. But really, I just quit working. I just say, well, just work in the streets. Find you a dope dealer and just work for him. Rob him and let him beat you up or whatever you need to do. Just do it that way.
You have any dangerous situations you ever?
Oh, been shot at about 10, 15 times.
Wow.
I used to rob this man next door to my mother's church. He was a bootlegger, and he would shoot at me 4 or 5 times, and that Sunday morning he see my mom and say, I'm going to kill him, and she'll give him a few dollars or whatever I took from him, and he tell me not to come back on his premises, and I wait about a day or two, and I'm right back on his premises and robbing him again, and he'll shoot at me again, and he'll tell my mama I'm going to kill him. And I mean, it was a dangerous life, like I said, but you enjoyed the high. You enjoyed the activity. It was dangerous. I was just living a dangerous life. Didn't know God had his hand on me, but today I know he had his hand on me. And oh man, wow, I wouldn't give this life I live today. I wouldn't give it up for nothing.
Yeah. How about you, George?
Oh man, life is way better. You know, it's way better having my stuff in my own home that I own now than having it in that black trash bag. Definitely. It's been it's been good. I think one of the hardest things that they was talking about my sister, that's been one of the hardest things that I think I've had to deal with in my sobriety. You know, the passing of her and how she went, you know, and me surviving and her not surviving this dreadful disease, you know, that's something that's difficult. I deal with every day, you know, but like Pop said, through prayer and God, you know, I have to pray all the time, you know, to make it through. And it's hey, life is still good. No matter what the situation is or the circumstances, God is still God.
Has it been a challenge to stay away from like events or parties or people who indulge in that lifestyle? Or is you could just not be entertained with any of that and just stay away from it.
I just don't go, but
You just don't go.
Yeah.
I have family members and I have friends that still do it. I don't go around them. I mean, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Roll
saying?
on. Like over time, you put space between you and that drug of your choice. It's like you recoil from it, like a hot stove or something. You don't want nothing to do with it. Especially like I said, that the life that we have now, I wouldn't give it up for nothing. You know, my kids. You know, it's not just me. I can actually see now. Before I couldn't see. I was blinded by my own selfish wants and what it is that I want. And I wasn't thinking about nobody else but George. But now I got these 3 boys and I got my mom here and my 2 nieces. They need me. It ain't just about me.
Yeah.
So I have to get up every day and put that in my mind and know, hey.
Fentanyl is killing a lot of people these days. I don't know a whole lot about drugs, but I was trying to read some more on fentanyl and try to understand why is it so prevalent now. I've heard, I think it was the rapper Boosie, and I believe he was talking about fentanyl when I saw this video of him. He was like, man, this is a whole different thing now. This is a whole different thing. You don't want to mess with this. You don't want to mess with this. Let's talk about that, Mr. Collins.
It's your heart. I mean, when I got high, I wanted the drugs to reform me into something different. I want you to give me courage. I wanted to become somebody else. And that's what drugs do to you. It changes you to someone else. But this fentanyl, would I have tried it? I know I would have, because that's the type of person I was. It just makes your heart fester.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a downer. Yeah, I see. I got sober in January of 2017, and I got out of the scene right when fentanyl was starting to hit the scene. You know, I tried heroin one time, and I knew once I did that, I was like, I need to get some help, and that's when I went and got help. Once I tried that, I knew that it was time for me to go and get some help. You know, and but fentanyl hadn't came out yet, and it was just starting to get on the scene.
Okay.
And I'm very glad that I got away from that.
So are the people not realizing, I'm pretty sure by now, a lot of people who use understand that fentanyl is very deadly. So are you telling me that the urge, the addiction, that high that you want, if you know fentanyl is in this whatever or however they do, I mean, or why even have it around you if it's that deadly?
You try it, because you don't know. I mean, it don't have to be fentanyl, but since we're talking about it, yeah, it'll kill you. But the rest of it will too, because we never know as an addict what piece of smoke that we put in us gonna kill us. So you're taking that chance, and then you might smoke some fentanyl, it might not kill you. So you try it again and you try it again. It might not never kill you. It might not kill you, but it might kill him.
It's the insanity of that disease. It's like you insane, you know, like you really can't. You know that this could possibly kill you, but you don't care. You just want to get that high again. You know,
So,
you know it's.
You know what? I don't understand the person that is on it, and they know the effects of it, what the possibilities of you becoming addicted. But yet they hand it to their friend and say, hey, just take a hit. I don't understand that.
You don't want to feel left out. Like, you already by yourself, and I get it. Like, you don't want to feel, okay, if he does it, I won't look so bad, or if she does it. You really don't consider the fact that they may lose their life. You know, no matter who it is, if it's your family member or your brother or cousin or whoever it is, it's like, you don't want to be by yourself. So, hey, try some of this.
I remember years ago, I dated this guy, and he's clean today, thank God. Many years clean. The little circle of friends we had, and I was in my 20s when this was going on, and those guys were older. But my friend, boyfriend, knew that I was dating this guy that was on drugs. And he pulled me to the side one day and said, don't you do that stuff. Don't you do it. He encouraged me not to do it. He was on it. He knew the guy I was dating was on it. And he just looked at me. He said, don't you do it. And I was like, I would never, ever. But I guess he knew that maybe at some point in time, that guy would probably ask me or try to get me to try it or whatever. And he was like, and I appreciate him to this day for encouraging me not to do it.
You know, sometimes we do want our mate to try stuff and to deal with us in a way because we turn you out. And once we turn you out, we know we can put you on the street to make money or whatever we need for you to do. Because now you is hooked too. Yeah. And it's much easier to turn a woman out, a woman of your caliber and looks, how much money I could make off you, how high I could get off you, not thinking about you.
Thinking about yourself.
Thinking about myself, being selfish. You know what I'm saying? You working. You know what I'm saying? So thank God you didn't get turned out.
That's right.
Wow. That is powerful. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Chat City with P. Ross. And I have in the building with me today Mr. Barry Collins and Mr. George Green, who are talking about drug addictions. They are far away from doing that life ever again. And they're here to share their stories today. If you have missed this show, you can go back and watch it on Oak 93.5's Facebook page, or you can look at Polyvision, Paulivision on YouTube, and watch this show, and perhaps share the entire show with someone who may be suffering from this dreadful disease, drug addiction, if you want to help them, okay? Feel free to go back and look at those recorded pages. All right, we are getting to the close of our show, but I just wanted to mention this to you gentlemen. I don't know if you heard, because you're both from the Moore County, North Carolina area, but there was a mom and a boyfriend who were recently charged for child abuse and drug. They have drug charges against them for
A 2-year-old.
a 2-year-old. A
Ingested.
2-year-old was in their presence and somehow got a hold of fentanyl and overdosed. This child is at UNC Chapel Hospitals, I do believe now, and the two were arrested. 6 grams of fentanyl was discovered in their home on June the 15th, and a small amount of marijuana. Wow. Talk about that, Mr. Collins.
Well, I don't know too much about that one, but it's bad for the child. You know, I feel for the child. The parents should know better. Even though when you doing stuff, you just got to put it out of their reach.
It's a sad situation. No matter if you suffer from the disease, you still have to suffer the consequences of your behavior. That's the thing about it. It's still not an excuse. You know, I was high, or no. You still got to suffer the consequences. And I hate that kid has to go through that and deal with that. It's a sad situation all the way around.
Yeah. Okay, so you got a big audience in front of you right now. Tell me, Mr. Collins, what would you say to the world about drug addiction and how to walk away from it totally? Or what would you like to say? What last words do you have to say to our audience today?
Don't. I mean, just don't. You already see what it done. I mean, we just got to get smarter than what we are. You know what I'm saying? I give a shout out to Bobby Collins, my family, for not using. You know, I hated how I disappoint them, but in the long run, I believe in my heart that God just had me on this trip. I'm not Jonas, but, you know, just don't.
I want to encourage you to continue to share your story, because it's a much needed one. It's a powerful one, and I know it will bring somebody out of the dark into the marvelous light. I applaud you today, Mr. Collins. And George, your last words to the world.
Just take
from the show.
Take some suggestions. You know, like, there is help out there. You know, take that step. You know, ask for help. You know, don't be afraid. Like, you can change. Your life can change. You know. And I like to tell you, you know, I appreciate the opportunity to come on and share my story and possibly spread a word that may help somebody. I really appreciate this opportunity.
And again, you too, as I mentioned to Mr. Collins, hey, continue to share your story. If I have a platform and we're on this subject, you two are most certainly welcome to come share your stories.
Thank you.
On my platform, okay? All right. This concludes our show, but I do want to give you a phone number to share with anyone who may be suffering from drug addiction. That number is 1-800-662-4357. Again, that number is 1-800-662-4357. Call, get help today. Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. Mr. Collins, Mr. Green, again, thank you so very much for being here with us today.
Yes,
all right. Enjoy the rest of the week. Be safe.
You too.
All right.
Because there is hope.
Amen.